Nama Om Krishna Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschita Deshatarane. Today is Janmastami, the appearance day of Lord Krishna. This is perhaps the most important day on the Vaishnava calendar. Most of you have already read the advent of Lord Krishna and the birth of Krishna in the Krishna book. I will speak of those chapters in a reduced way, and then I'll speak of new material. And they were newly married, Devaki and Vasudeva, riding on the chariot and going home to Vasudeva's place. They had a big dowry, and they were going in a large procession. By etiquette, the brother of the bride, Kamsa, was holding the reins of the horses. He was a big demon. He was observing the etiquette of his sister in these affairs. Everything was going on very nicely, but suddenly a voice announced from the sky, addressed to Kamsa, "Kamsa, you fool, you are driving the chariot of your sister, but you don't know that the 8th child of this union will kill you." Being demoniac, Kamsa immediately became very angry and afraid for his life. He took out his sword and he was prepared to kill Devaki immediately. Her husband Vasudeva ran up to Kamsa and told him, "Stop this heinous act. What are you doing? You're trying to kill your sister on this auspicious day of her marriage? She's under your charge and she's a woman. Stop this." Then Vasudeva began speaking transcendental knowledge to Kamsa. He said, "Death is inevitable for all of us. If we are 25 years old, we are 25 years dead. From youth to grown-up age, to old age, and finally to death. Then we transmigrate and take another body." He was speaking in this way. Kamsa couldn't understand transcendental knowledge. So Vasudeva thought, I should switch my tactics. He said I should just speak in a way to save Devaki. So he said to Kamsa, "You have nothing to fear from Devaki. The voice said the 8th child of her would kill you. But we don't know if there'll be any children. And if there are, I promise to bring them all to you to do as you like." This logic very much appealed to Kamsa and he calmed down. He knew that Vasudeva always spoke the truth. So he stopped his activity and let them go. But then, after they had given birth to one child and let free, Narada Muni went to visit Kamsa, and he told him that any child born to this couple may be the 8th child. Narada wanted to facilitate the appearance of Krishna. So he spoke in this way. And he told Kamsa, in your previous birth, you were born as a demon named Kalamani. And Lord Vishnu killed you. Kamsa became very disturbed by these words. And he arrested Vasudeva and Devaki, put them in chains, put them in prison. And then, year after year, as they conceived children, he killed them all, 6 in a row. When the time came for the pregnancy of the 7th child, Yogamaya spoke to Devaki and said, in your womb is an expansion of Krishna called Sankarshan, Ananta, and Baladev. I'm going to transfer this baby from your womb to the womb of one of Vasudeva's wives named Rohini. She is taking shelter, hiding in Brajabhumi with your dear friends, Vasudeva, Nanda, and Yashoda. Feels warm in here. It was known, yes, in the prison that this 7th pregnancy had been a miscarriage. Then Krishna spoke to Devaki in the womb and said, for the 8th pregnancy, I will personally appear in your womb with all my potencies. So Krishna entered the mind of Vasudeva by the Lord's effulgence. Vasudeva became effulgent, and no one could even see him. And Devaki became extraordinarily beautiful. But no one could see her because she was in prison. She was like fire in a covered pot. He saw her and then he was wondering what to do. He decided not to kill her because it would ruin his reputation. She was his sister, she was a woman, she was under his protection. So he decided, I'll wait till the baby is born and then I'll kill him, just as I killed the other 6. And after some time, Krishna appeared in the mind of Vasudeva. And he was transferred to the mind of Devaki. And she became extraordinarily beautiful. but no one could see her because she was in prison. She was like fire in a covered pot. But Kamsa had access to the prison, so he saw her. As I said, he decided to wait until the baby was born, and then kill him. So Krishna had entered their bodies. And after some time, after 8 months, which was short of the delivery time, just to confuse Kamsa, he actually appeared in the prison house as four-armed Vishnu, bearing the lotus, the punch, the club, and the chakra. They immediately recognized him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, bowed down to him, and offered elaborate prayers. Their prayers were very Aishwarya, full of awe and reverence, addressing him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all-powerful, the cause of all causes, in charge of the modes of material nature, etc., etc. Because they had paternal affection for him, they also spoke to him as their child, especially Devaki. She expressed her affection in terms of fear. She was afraid that Kamsa might come at any moment and see him and kill him. Although she had just addressed him as a Supreme Lord, she was afraid that Kamsa could still kill him. She said to him, please withdraw this form and become just like a natural human child so that I may try to hide you somewhere. After she finished her prayers, Lord Vishnu spoke to her. He described how they had been his parents in 2 previous incarnations. First, he appeared as Krishna Garbha. They were his parents as named as Krishna and Sutapa. They prayed for the boon of having Krishna as their child and performed great austerities. In his second incarnation, he came as Vamana or Upendra. And his parents were Kashyapya and Aditi. Then he said, now in this third appearance, you, Vasudeva and Devaki, are my parents. He said, both of you, husband and wife, constantly think of me as your son, but always know that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By thus thinking of me constantly with love and affection, you will achieve the highest perfection, returning home back to Godhead. after instructing his father and mother, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, remained silent. He instructed them, first, if you are afraid, then bring me to Rajabhumi, to your dear friends, Yashoda and Nanda. Yashoda has just taken birth to a baby girl. Take me, leave her there with Yashoda. Leave me with Yashoda, and take the baby girl that has been born to Yashoda, and bring her here. And he remained silent. At that time, by the influence of Yogamaya, the guards all fell deep asleep, and chains on Vasudeva fell off, and the doors opened. In their presence, by his internal energy, he then transformed himself into a small human child. So Vasudeva left the prison. Exactly when Vasudeva, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room, Yogamaya, the Lord's spiritual energy, took birth as the daughter of the wife of Maharaj Nanda. Then Prabhupada writes a rare but amazing purport. He writes, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur discusses that Krishna appeared simultaneously as the son of Devaki and as the son of Yasoda, along with the spiritual energy, Yogamaya. As the son of Devaki, he first appeared as Vishnu, but because Vasudeva was not in a position of pure affection for Krishna, Vasudeva worshipped him as Lord Vishnu. Yasoda, however, pleased her son, Krishna, without understanding his Godhead. This is the difference between Krishna as the son of Yasoda and as the son of Devaki. This is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti on the authority of Hari Vamsa. This purport by Prabhupada states on the authority of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that Yasoda gave birth to Krishna and Yogamaya after Krishna. This is also described by the previous acharyas. I was helped in my research by Manohar, who went on the internet. We found several acharyas who confirmed this. I'm not going to speak of them or read their commentaries, but I'll just read one, a short one, by Baladev Vidyabhusana, which is revealing. he described what happened in Rajabhumi. Here also the cowherds, who were King Nanda's doorkeepers, fell asleep because of Yoga Nidra, a superior Kamsa, and all the doors opened by themselves. Yashoda fell asleep only because of her. Vasudeva did not see her son by the influence of Yoga Maya. He didn't see her son. He placed his own son there, took her daughter, and went back. It is understood that the two newborn sons became one, just like two broken clouds merge. Vasudev's deceit is not a fault because he knew Kamsa is unable to kill that daughter. In the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami writes about Yasoda giving birth to two children. And he writes, because this pastime is very confidential, it is not related in Srimad Bhagavatam. Nevertheless, Sukadeva Goswami and other great devotees have indirectly described it in some of their writings. Now we'll turn to the Cambridge Dictionary, the definition of two important words in this connection. The words are exoteric and esoteric. Exoteric means intended or suitable for people generally, not only for some people. Esoteric means very unusual and understood or liked by only a small number of people, especially those with special knowledge. The knowledge that that Yasoda gave birth to Krishna in Yoga Maya is esoteric knowledge. The knowledge that Devaki gave birth to Krishna is that exoteric knowledge. With the evidence of these acharyas that Yasoda gave birth to Krishna and Yogamaya, we have to face the fact that Srila Prabhupada many times referred to Nanda as the foster father of Krishna. We researched and found that 24 times in his writings, over 24 times in his speaking, Prabhupada referred to Nanda Maharaj as the foster father of Krishna. Many years ago, when I was a young sannyasi, I was staying in room 42 of the Krishna Balaram guest house in Vrindavan. And I was visited by an elderly sannyasi, Gaudiya Math. And his sole purpose in visiting me was to tell me that Prabhupada had made a mistake by describing Nanda Maharaj as the foster father of Krishna. I was annoyed with him and disgusted, but I didn't argue with him. Today, however, I can speak more clearly about this. Prabhupada's describing Nanda Maharaj as the foster father is in line with the Srimad Bhagavatam. I think I just read that Rupa Goswami wrote in his book that Krishna being born of Yasoda is very confidential, and it is not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam anywhere. So Prabhupada, writing in English to a westernized audience, chose to describe Devaki as the mother of Krishna. He thought it was too much to focus on the esoteric meaning for his new audience. But when you consider all of this, the ultimate issue, there is not much difference. A foster father, foster mother, and son can be just as loving as the parents who actually gave birth to them. This was the case with Krishna. His parents, Devaki and Vasudeva, were not able to take care of him. They were in prison. So they were given to Yasoda and Nanda, according to the Bhagavatam. And they took care of him with great love. Krishna speaks in the Srimad Bhagavatam after he killed Kamsa. He spoke with Vasudeva and Devaki and then with Nanda Maharaj. Krishna and Balaram said, "O Father, you and Mother Yasoda have affectionately maintained us and cared for us so much. Indeed, parents love their children more than their own lives. They are the real father and mother who care for, as they would their own sons, children abandoned by relatives, unable to maintain and protect them." That was the case with Devaki and Vasudeva. They were not able to protect their son. Now you should all return to Braja. Dear Father, we shall come to see you, our dear relatives who suffer in separation from us. He's referring to Yasoda and Nanda. We shall come to see you, our dear relatives who suffer in separation from us, as soon as we have given some happiness to your well-wishing friends. The common understanding of the Bhagavad philosophy is that Devaki gave birth to Krishna. And Nanda brought him up, and Yasoda brought him up as their dearly beloved son. They did this without any knowledge of Krishna's Godhead. And Prabhupada says many times that Yashoda is a higher devotee than Devaki, where she loved Krishna with spontaneous love, without any knowledge that he was the personality of Godhead. Whereas Devaki saw him as the personality of Godhead. And so did Vasudeva. So it's a question of substance and form. Krishna, Nanda Maharaj, for the substance. He raised Krishna from his babyhood to his childhood, to his early adolescence. And then Krishna went out of the house, so to speak. He went to Mathura. When he went to Mathura, all the residents of Vrindavan, especially Nanda and Yasoda, the gopis, were put into great sorrow, and they constantly cried. And Lord Chaitanya says their condition was vipralambha, separation from Krishna, and it is the highest ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. So it's possible that being the foster child and the foster parent can be even more loving than the biological parents of a person, especially if they're unable to take care of their child. Prabhupada followed the substance, not the formalities. So with all respect for that venerable Gaudiya Math sannyasi who told me Prabhupada made a mistake, fact is, he made a mistake. Prabhupada was 100% correct, saying that Krishna was the son of Devaki, and thus he kept the unspoken secret, but secret from the Bhagavatam. Krishna is the son of Mother Yasoda. So Krishna in the morning was discovered by Yasoda and Nanda as their son. And they celebrated his birth ceremony that day as Nandotsava. And the nurse cut the umbilical cord between Yasoda and Krishna. Krishna then lived hidden in Vrindavan, safe. But eventually, Kamsa found out who he was, and he sent ferocious demons to kill him, starting in Krishna's infancy. First demon, Putana. And then he killed all the subsequent demons that Kamsa sent. So while we may hear of the commentaries of the previous acharyas about Yasoda giving birth to Krishna, we are very safe to read Prabhupada, who describes Krishna as the son of Devaki. I'm going to stop here. I'm not going to take any questions or comments because I don't know if I could answer them. It's a very complicated issue. I believe what I've said is correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you.